or watching back on the replay, all I want for you to do in the comment section is let me know where you're tuning in from in the world, and let me know, what does trust marketing mean to you? Today, we're going to talk about trust. We're going to talk about direct bookings, and we've got the founder of Iprac with us to do so.
We have some breaking news now. The Boostly podcast is about to begin. Make sure you like this post, comment #BookDirect, and share this video in Facebook groups. But now, let me hand you over to your host, Mark Simpson.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Chris, thank you very much for joining us, founder of Iprac. What we're going to do, we're going to cover so many topics today because we've got a real good podcast lined up, talking all about trust, talking about direct bookings, but just talking about marketing in general and the importance of it. So just to get us started, for anybody who has never heard of Iprac before, can you just give us a very quick overview of what you do, how you do it, and how you came about and where we are right now? Thank you.
Okay, all right. I'll try and keep it as brief as possible. So yeah, Iprac was founded back as an idea in 2014. We brought it to market in 2016, which was basically on the back of when I witnessed fraud for the first time here in the south of France, when a family got frauded and lost £15,000 to a fake website, fake business. So they basically arrived in the south of France and had nowhere to stay, lost all that £15,000. So it was pretty horrendous. So I looked into the market and thought there has to be some way that we can, fix this problem, because the industry had it, and it was a bigger problem than I originally thought. So that's how Iprac came about. And Iprac basically stands for International Property Rental Approval Certification. It's exactly what we are. We certify and approve legitimate, trusted, professional short-term rental operators around the globe. We operate in 28 countries, and basically we go through a robust application process and certification before we approve our members, who then get the authorization to show their Iprac logo on their website and on their marketing material. So it's a trust logo for the short-term rental industry with a certification behind it. So it's proven to be it's proven to be successful and much needed tool for the industry for sure.
So for those that are part of Iprac, please make yourself known in the comments, whether you're watching live or on the replay. And if you're tuning in on the audio version, do jump over to YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook, because we will be there. The video will be up. So just to give us a bit of sort of overview of the numbers. So started this, had the idea 2014, came to fruition and live 2017. We're now sat here in 2022, so 5 years later. Can you please share the numbers? So how many members are part of Iprac, and how many properties in total do you currently have under Iprac?
Yeah, so members wise, over the since 2016 when we launched, we've had a steady growth. And at the end of 2021, we were just short of 11,000 members. And that covered just around 260,000 properties through all of our members. So some of our members have one property because they're private owners, but a lot of our members are actual property managers who manage anywhere between 10 and 150, 200 properties. We've got a couple of members who are higher than that, 400, 500 properties, but over the 28 countries, we're covering. The Iprac certification is covering like close to 260,000 properties, which is great. I mean, it's it's not a big number compared to the number of properties available for rent around the world, but considering when we started that in 2014, it's steady growth, and we're looking to get every property approved for consumer trust.
Yeah, I mean, it is amazing. That's so many properties, that's so many members. And it's a testament, because when you started this, like you say, it wasn't for any financial gain. It was literally just to help bring trust into the industry. And what has grown on the back of it is real trust. So I guess the most important question to start off with is, why is trust important? Why are you doing this? Why is trust something that everybody should be focusing on when it comes to building their business and their brand? I think that's the best place to kick off.
Yeah, and that's a fantastic question, Mark, because, if you look at any business around the world, or any kind of purchasing, consumer purchasing, trust plays a huge part. So especially in the short-term rental sector, because it's high revenue, and it's actually people who are going into a contractual revenue contract that don't know each other. So if you're expecting to pay like £5,000, euros, dollars to somebody you don't know, that's very difficult. It's a very difficult hurdle to get over. So trust becomes huge part of being able to get potential guests to book with hosts or property managers. So trust is huge, and if you don't have it, then you're not going to work and do any business in short-term rentals, really. So trust is like it's the base, it's the concrete of building that respected and trusted brand around short-term rentals. So if you don't have trust, then you're going to struggle to build that business.
Okay, so we're talking about trust, and everybody thinks about marketing in terms of maybe putting a social media post out here and there, maybe having a website, maybe having banners up or doing offline advertising, whatever advertising, referral marketing, whatever you are looking to focus on your business. I honestly think that the trust side is one of the last things that people think about. But as we all know, it is so important. So can you, we've got two different types. Let's just say product. And when we say product, this is the property. This is the property, product from property. And we've got trust. So how do we then go along the lines of building that and talking about trust marketing over, say, product marketing? How would you bridge that? If someone comes to you saying, Chris, I need help promoting the trust aspect, why they should book with me, etc., what's the advice that you would give to somebody?
Well, stay away from the product. I mean, that's the first part that you need to do. People need to trust you before they buy into you. So a lot of people in today's world of short-term rentals, and you see far too much product marketing and not enough trust marketing. So product marketing for me is people just kind of posting out there that they've got a 3-bedroom apartment, putting some nice photos on a post, offering 10% discount, and that is they're hopefully trying to generate income from that. My advice is to concentrate on trust marketing, and that's a completely different ball game, because you're not really talking about your product. You're talking about your values as a company. And a lot of people want to understand who you are as a company, who you are as a founder, who you are as a brand. And this is all about a different style of marketing, and it's called trust marketing for a reason, because you're putting out specific content that is revolved around trust. So you're going to be talking about why trust is important to your business, why it's important for your guests to trust who you are as a company, and all of these aspects in articles without going into trying to sell them a product. Sell them on your business, sell them on you as a person, as a founder. And once you've got them attracted to you as a business, because they trust you, then you can start product marketing. But if you're just throwing product marketing out without people trusting in who you are, you're just wasting time and money. So you've got to concentrate on trust marketing, and that's a different factor. It's using your website. So it's like trust content. If you read somebody's website of a short-term rentals, does it heavily favor product and how good we are, or does it favor the values of trust and you as a business and why it's important for your guests to trust in you? Because guests will hone more on the trust than the product. And once you catch them on the trust, then there'll be more attention focused on the product.
See, trust is such an essential part of any tool. I mean, building Iprac is the same as building Boostly. When we started going into this, at the very start, you've got to get across the trust factor, why someone would say maybe join our company, like join the brand, join the movement. You've got to display that trust. So, and this is what Boostly did. What I did to do that is I went to go and get my training accredited. So I got the CPD to accredit my training, because that's the way that I felt that it would really help stand up my brand against any other training that's out there around direct bookings, because it's not just me going, yeah, this is great. It's like I had an actual governing body, somebody that was overshoot, like with membership and whatnot, was saying, right, well, this is actually decent. This is actually something that'll help. So Iprac is doing a same thing for the world of hospitality and short-term rentals. So can you just on a very sort of 60,000 foot view, somebody looking at it for the first time, they've maybe gone to the website, but they're still a bit unsure. How do you build that trust with what Iprac is doing, and sort of just go over sort of the process, the roadmap, and how it and why it's working?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll try and go back a little bit. So let's understand where the power of short-term rentals is at the minute with the OTAs. Okay. So let's talk about Airbnb and how powerful they are in the industry, and Booking.com and Vrbo and Expedia. So they are billion-pound companies for a reason. And it's basically because they have a consumer base that trust in their brand. Okay. So what we have to do as short-term rental operators is give consumers the same level of trust and guarantees. So when you can talk about accreditation, as in we have invested as a company, we have gone out into the industry, we have identified who the accreditation trust factor is within the short-term rentals, and we've invested and we've become approved. And the key factor there is, from a consumer point of view, everybody knows the value and what accreditation is. It's third party, so that means that somebody else from a third party value has come in and said, listen, your business is certified. And that shows and holds so much value because of the fact that we can all talk very well about our business. It's easy for us to talk well about our own businesses. Okay. What the most powerful tool is when a third party verifies you as a quality business and a professional business. And that's why accreditation is so powerful. And that's why Iprac comes in as a tool, so that you can showcase to your potential guests and partners that you've gone out and achieved your industry trust accreditation. And that's powerful because you have to introduce that into your business, but you'll definitely see a change in psychology from your potential guests if they know that you've actually gone through an accreditation and been certified. 100%.
So people may be looking at Iprac and maybe thinking, well, there's something in my country that I've got, that I'm part of something. And I don't want to name any names because I don't want to call anybody out, but how is Iprac different than, say, a country specific accreditation program?
Well, the main factor is when we decided to launch Iprac, as I mentioned previously, we had 2 years of research and development. And one of the main factors here was accountability. Okay. So we don't want to be just a logo. And we find that a lot of the independent country associations or anybody else who's looking at bringing out like a certification, if you look at like the AA Good to Go logo during the COVID time, it just had no accountability. So it was just a logo that you could pay £20, put it on your website and use it as a conversion tool, which is wrong. Okay. That's not an accreditation. Accreditation actually gives the consumer a guarantee. So like if you're accredited by Iprac, for example, and you register your booking through the member's profile, basically all of your payments to that member directly are 100% guaranteed against fraud. So you're actually giving the consumer the accountability to be able to go in and say, listen, Iprac, if something goes wrong and we arrive and that property doesn't exist, then we've got Iprac to give us back our money. A lot of the other independent accreditations don't do that. They don't give any guarantee. So if something goes wrong, it's like, where do they go? What are you guaranteeing the consumer? So it doesn't become an accreditation logo. It's more of a conversion logo. And because there's no accountability behind it. Iprac has an accountability behind it, and we built that in for a reason. And it's also why we're the only accreditation logo that is unique to every member. Like there's no one Iprac logo the same, because we embedded that member's ID number in the logo, which means a consumer can go onto the Iprac website, type in that ID number, and check out that member's credentials and register their booking. So we've built a platform and an accreditation that gives accountability to the guest. So it assures them that when they're booking with that Iprac member, their payments are protected. And it's not just a logo. There's accountability, and that's the key factor that why Iprac is different, but also built to be global rather than just in a specific country. So like Iprac would be recognized in America, so that an American guest would recognize an Iprac logo in the UK. If you're just looking at an independent country association accreditation, then it's not really marketed outside of that country. So it's kind of, it's kept within the realm of that country rather than being a global accreditation that's recognized by travelers worldwide. That's the difference between what we're trying to do at Iprac, and that's why we're in 28 countries.
That's amazing. So at this point, it'd be very nicely to drop in a link. So everybody who is part of the Boostly community, whether you listen to the podcast, whether you're a member of Team Boostly or watching the YouTube videos, Iprac is come on board very recently to be our content sponsor, which is amazing because if we're talking about direct bookings and if we're talking about trust, they come hand in hand. I feel like as hosts and as management companies, we're so focused on, do we trust the guest? As in, what are we, like, how can we make sure that the guest turning up is going to protect us? Okay. But you've got to look at it from the other side. When it's the consumer that's going to give you, maybe £1,000, £2,000, £3,000, that's a lot of money. How can they trust you? And I feel like this is why this is so important. It comes hand in hand. This is why I'm really excited for the content sponsor, which is fantastic. And what you can do, if you go to this domain, and I'll make sure that it's on all the show notes, and I'll make sure it's on the screen and some fancy logos when we come to edit this later on. If you go to Boostly, which you should know how to spell Boostly by now, /trust, TRUST, you'll go to the Iprac website, where we've got a very, very special and cool offer for all Boostly peeps that want to sign up and join the movement. So we're currently at 11,000 members. Do you have like a roadmap for the next sort of 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 years on the numbers that you want to get to, like the properties? Like what's the big sort of goal for the next, say, 1 to 5 years for Iprac, if you could just have that shiny goal that's in the future that you're sort of working towards?
Yeah, it's always good to have a goal, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, the goal at the start hasn't really changed. I mean, COVID threw a few curveballs into the situation, but the goal at the start was to have 1 million members, because I believe that if we reached that threshold of 1 million, we would be recognised as a force of a global trusted accreditation. I think at the minute we are, well below that. So even though we're doing great work and protecting consumers and helping, hosts and property managers increase their direct bookings and increase their trust strategy and different things, as a global goal, we want to reach that kind of 1 million members and, like 5 million properties. Because at the end of the day, our whole goal is to make STR a safer place for consumers, because we've got a lot of people who do some great work in this space and a lot of great companies, but at the same time, do we sit down and actually get the understanding of the consumer of, like, why do you still use hotels? Why do you still use OTAs? Ask these really important questions, and it all comes back to, I'm just not that keen on booking with people I don't know and traveling to arrive at a place, because there's a lot of horror stories out there as well, as we all know. So we need to bridge that gap of trust, and the way to do that is to have 1 million certified property managers and hosts who are identified as trusted, professional, and ready to provide that fantastic service. And if we can get to that figure, then I believe that would be the turning point for the brand. I mean, we're doing great stuff. That's not questioned. But that's the end goal. And I believe if we reach that, then Iprac becomes that kind of leader in that global trust certification that's basically allowing the industry to operate with more trust.
Amazing. Well, we are massively behind you here.
Thank you.
Bruce Lee, and all of our members and everybody's pushing you towards. And I know there's so many good people that I know within this industry are massively behind you. So we'll help push and boost towards that big goal, which is awesome. All right. What I like to do, and I didn't give you a warning on this, but I like to finish off the podcast episodes with a little feature that I'm going to call Get to Know Chris. So what we've done, we know about Iprac, we know all these cool things,
Okay.
but you've got to, we've done clubhouse rooms in the past. We have done podcasts in the past. But what I want to do, I want to find out a little bit more. So the first question, quick fire questions. Let's just say this. You're obviously family man, businesses, a lot of things going on. When you switch off and you want to just chill out, what's that one thing that you like to do more than anything? When you get a chance to relax, chill out, if you could just choose one thing to do, what would that be?
Well, there's two things. If the weather's good, golf. Okay. I like playing golf on my own with some, with like people that I don't know as well.
Yeah.
I love playing golf with my son. But if the weather's not good, then I'm a chess man. I love playing chess. I've played chess since I was 12.
Yeah. Nice.
So I love playing chess. I love the strategic side of chess.
Nice. And obviously you're based in France, lived there for many years. So when you want to go on your vacation, if you want to go on a holiday just to escape, whether it's a staycation or whatever, like short break, where would you get to? Get in the car or get on a flight? Where would you ideally like to go?
We like to go along to Saint-Tropez. We've got a place along there in a place called Contiki. It's like a glamping resort. We've got a couple of we bought in 2017. We bought a couple of these, chalet huts.
Yeah.
So we get along there. Love it down there. It's like when you get in there, you just you could be anywhere.
Yeah.
So I like to do that to switch off. If I go out of France, I sometimes like to drive to Italy.
Yeah.
Like to drive to Spain. Barcelona's a nice one. If I was going out of Europe, I would probably have to say Bali. Bali's a place where I would, that's a place.
That is a place. I've spent many times there. I spent a lot of time there. A lot of Bali. Bruce Lee is based and founded in Bali. So Bali.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a lot of it was created there, and a lot of our work that we do there is in Bali, which is amazing. All right, Chris, I want to say thank you very much. We're gonna wrap it there because we know your time is precious, and we want everybody to go and check out boostly.co.uk/trust. It will take you to the Iprac website, which is a special landing page for Boostly peeps. From there, you can go and find out everything that you need to know. And if you want to join the movement, getting Iprac and getting trust marketing all over this industry, then please do go and check it out. It really is such an important part of your business. And I think that so many people don't understand. And in the research for this podcast, I went and looked at what Airbnb did, and you can go and find the actual TED Talk on how basically the co-founder of Airbnb said everything was built and founded on trust. And if that's where their focus has been, it's criminal that our focus isn't doing that. Instead of just focusing on the guests coming into us going to be legit, etc., try and think of it from the other way around, as in when you're going to go and book somewhere, is that place going to be there? Is this going to be a scam? Is it going to live up to what they're saying online, which is so important. So I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for being the Boostly sponsor. It means the world. And I hope that everybody has enjoyed this. Please let me know your feedback. Let me know where you are in the world. Let me know if you are a host, if you're watching this, where you are. Drop a little link to your website so we can all go and have a look. And we'll be back very soon with another episode of the Boostly podcast. Chris, I'll let you go. Thank you very much. And we'll see you all, everybody, very soon.
This is a freestyle. I'm going off the dome. Ready for my close-up. Good looking. Let me tell you, get more bookings.
Oh, that'd be nice. Giving me tips, tools and advice.
Yeah, you're gonna get them, hun. You're gonna sit back, listen to Mark Simpson. Whoa, having a blast. Gonna get it on the Boostly podcast. Boostly like Bruce Lee, cause it's so hard and the T is loose leaf. Making up those rhymes, don't write it, just do it loosely. If you want my respect, you better put direct. Here are the words in the podcast.